The legendary Prince of Darkness and founding father of heavy metal, Ozzy Osbourne, has passed away at the age of 76. In the world of rock, few names carry a legacy as immense as Ozzy's. He wasn't just an icon, he was a global force, loved and admired by generations of fans. Yet in the final weeks of his life, things were far quieter than anyone might imagine for such a colossal figure. In those still moments, the man once known for his wild and shadowed persona had stepped away from the spotlight and finally let go of the chase for fame. In the end, Ozzy's mind wasn't on the stage or the fame. His heart was focused on one deeply personal wish, something only his wife, Sharon, could help fulfill. It wasn't a fleeting thought, but a heartfelt request that shaped his final days and brought him a rare sense of peace. If Ozzy Osbourne's life or music has ever made you laugh, think, or feel inspired, take a moment to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss more powerful stories like this. Drop a 1 in the comments if you've ever felt connected to Ozzy's legacy, or a 0 if you see it differently. Now, let's uncover the moving story behind his final moments and the wish that gave him comfort at the very end. Musicians, collaborators, and industry figures all understood the immense influence Ozzy Osbourne had built over his legendary career. His legacy stretched across decades of groundbreaking music, and as his time on stage and on this earth drew to a close, a deep sense of loss rippled through the entire music world. The realization that a true legend was approaching his final curtain struck a powerful chord with everyone his music had ever touched. Ozzy was more than an extraordinary performer. He was an icon who reshaped the sound and spirit of rock and metal forever. His impact was beyond measure, and his passing left a silence that no one else could ever fill. Ozzy Osbourne's legacy is nothing short of legendary. From his groundbreaking years as the frontman of Black Sabbath to his trailblazing solo career, Ozzy left an indelible mark on the worlds of rock and metal. His influence reached far beyond his music, shaping the very culture of rock through his fearless spirit, larger-than-life stage presence, and unshakable authenticity. Ozzy's pioneering sound and bold creativity didn't just define heavy metal. They inspired generations of artists to find their own voice and push the boundaries of what music could be. As Elton John once said, Ozzy was a great pioneer, securing his place among the pantheon of rock legends, a true icon whose legacy will echo for eternity. His deep connection with fans, his resilience through every personal battle, and his monumental impact on music make him one of the most influential figures in rock history. What does Ozzy's legacy mean to you? How has his music shaped your love for rock and metal? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories about the artists who changed the world of music forever. He was also one of the funniest people I've ever met. I will miss him dearly. With those words, Sir Rod Stewart perfectly captured the essence of Ozzy Osbourne beyond his legendary career. To those fortunate enough to know him, Ozzy wasn't just a titan of rock, he was warm, genuine, and endlessly funny. A man whose humor could light up any room. Rod, who shared decades of friendship and camaraderie with Ozzy, expressed his grief through a heartfelt farewell. Farewell, Ozzy. Sleep well, my friend. See you on the other side. These weren't just words of tribute, they were a reflection of deep friendship, respect, and shared memories between two giants of music. It was a goodbye filled with both sorrow and love, as Rod said farewell, not just to a fellow artist, but to a true friend. The sense of loss following Ozzy Osbourne's passing reached far beyond his inner circle. Artists from every corner of the music world across genres and generations recognized the profound impact Ozzy had, not only on rock, but on the evolution of modern music itself. Ronnie Wood of the Rolling Stones was among those who paid tribute, calling Ozzy a true legend of Birmingham, not just for his contributions to music, but for shaping the city's vibrant musical identity. Wood praised Ozzy's gift for creating a sound that inspired generations, emphasizing that his legacy extended well beyond the stage. This was more than an acknowledgement of Ozzy's talent. It was a tribute to his role in building the very foundation on which countless artists continue to stand. Ozzy's legacy isn't confined to his songs, it lives in the hearts of his fans, the respect of his peers, and the enduring influence he left on the entire world of music. He may be gone, but his spirit will echo forever through every note, every lyric, and every soul he's inspired. Metallica, one of the bands that performed at the Villa Park concert, paid tribute to Ozzy Osbourne with a gesture that was simple yet deeply moving. A single photo of the band with Ozzy captioned only with a broken heart emoji spoke volumes. Though brief, the post resonated with millions around the world, capturing the shared grief and immense respect for a true legend. This wasn't just a tribute to a friend, it was a recognition of Ozzy's monumental influence on the world of rock and metal. As titans of the genre themselves, Metallica's gesture reflected a deep understanding of how much Ozzy had shaped the sound and spirit of heavy music. He didn't just transform a genre, he redefined it, leaving behind a legacy that will inspire musicians and fans for generations to come. Metallica's quiet tribute served as a powerful reminder that in the world of rock and metal, Ozzy Osbourne's impact will echo forever. Ozzy Osbourne, through his monumental contributions, became far more than a household name. He was a living icon who defined the sound and spirit of rock music. For over 5 decades, he created, innovated, and dedicated himself to shaping a genre that would change the world. The tributes from Metallica and countless other artists stand as powerful testaments to his pioneering influence, a recognition of a man whose impact transcended generations and forever altered the landscape of rock and metal. Though Ozzy may no longer walk among us, the legacy he built is eternal. His fearless creativity, unmistakable voice, and boundless energy laid the foundation for heavy metal as we know it today. His influence will continue to inspire musicians, fans, and dreamers for generations to come. The story of Ozzy Osbourne isn't confined to the past. It lives on as an everlasting force, guiding the future of music and echoing through every chord, every stage, and every soul he's ever touched. Ozzy Osbourne's collaborations transcended generations, bridging the worlds of classic rock legends and modern metal icons. His influence reached far beyond music, weaving itself into the very fabric of popular culture. Ozzy wasn't just a musician, he was a symbol of rebellion, creativity, and raw, unfiltered power that defined rock and metal for decades. Every new generation of artists carries a piece of his legacy, drawing inspiration from the pioneer who redefined what these genres could be. In his final weeks, fans and the entire music community understood that they were witnessing the close of an era, one shaped by his groundbreaking artistry and fearless innovation. While the world mourned, there was also profound gratitude for the life, the music, and the magic he gave. Ozzy's influence remains everlasting, his legacy undiminished, a force that will continue to ignite the hearts of artists and fans for generations to come. In her interviews, Sharon revealed that Ozzy had shared something deeply personal with her, a request that only she could fulfill. "He wanted me to do something for him that only I could do," she said, though she chose to keep the details private. Those few words spoke volumes about the profound responsibility Sharon carried in Ozzy's final weeks. She wasn't just his wife or caregiver, she was the guardian of his final wishes, entrusted with something that went far beyond love. Having stood by his side through every triumph and hardship, Sharon understood the immense weight of what he had asked of her. It was a sacred promise, a final act of devotion that reflected the depth of their bond, built on trust, understanding, and a love that had endured a lifetime. In Ozzy's final days, Sharon Osbourne's actions reflected an extraordinary depth of love, devotion, and strength. Despite the emotional toll, she remained unwavering in her mission to ensure that his final wishes were honored with the utmost care and dignity. Behind the scenes, Sharon worked quietly and tirelessly, arranging every detail to make certain Ozzy's last days were filled with peace and respect. Her efforts went beyond fulfilling a request. They were a profound expression of the life and love they had shared. What bound them together wasn't just marriage. It was a lifelong partnership forged through triumphs, struggles, and unshakable loyalty. Sharon's selflessness, her ability to stay composed while carrying the weight of both love and loss, was a testament to the strength of their bond and the family they had built together. In those final moments, she was more than a wife. She was the heartbeat of their family, the steady force holding everything together. It was a beautiful, selfless act, one that proved how love, loyalty, and sacrifice can transcend even the greatest of challenges, becoming the very essence of what it means to truly stand by someone's side. In Ozzy's final days, the Osbourne family came together in a profound spirit of love and unity. Kelly, Jack, Amy, and Ozzy's older children, Jessica and Louis, visited often, fully aware of how precious each moment had become. These weren't just ordinary family visits, they were sacred, tender moments filled with emotion and quiet reverence, as each family member cherished the time they had left together. For Ozzy, this was a striking contrast to the chaos of family life once shared with the world on the Osbournes. The cameras were gone, the spotlight had faded, and in its place was a private, heartfelt stillness that enveloped the family. It became a time for reflection, for laughter through tears, and for revisiting the memories that defined their lives together. Though sadness was inevitable, those final days were also a celebration of life, of love, connection, and the bonds that had always held them close. The Osbournes shared moments of pure affection and mutual respect, reflected not only Ozzy's legacy, but the strength of the family he had built. The man who once opened his home to the world was now surrounded by its beating heart, his family reminding everyone that the truest meaning of family lies not in fame, but in love, loyalty, and the understanding that endures to the very end. Outwardly, only a few truly understood the struggles unfolding behind closed doors. To the public, Ozzy appeared as a man battling the effects of age and illness, his health visibly declining. But what remained unseen were the private moments, the quiet preparations, the heartfelt conversations, and the immense emotional weight Sharon carried as she walked beside him through those final weeks. This was never a story of fame or fortune, nor one driven by headlines or spectacle. At its heart, it was a story of love in its purest form of unwavering sacrifice and quiet strength. It was the deeply human journey of a woman preparing to say goodbye to the man who had been her partner, her compass, and her greatest love. The way Ozzy left this world stayed true to who he had always been, resilient, fearless, and unapologetically himself. Sharon, more than anyone, understood this, having stood beside him through every trial and triumph. Ozzy never wanted to be remembered as a man defined by Parkinson's, nor as someone diminished by illness or frailty. For his final act, he wanted to remain the Prince of Darkness, a symbol of strength, rebellion, and unyielding spirit. This wasn't just a wish, it was his final statement to the world, a desire to be remembered not for his decline, but for his power, his fire, and the legacy of unbreakable will he left behind. Although Sharon never revealed the details of Ozzy's final wish, there was never any doubt in her mind she would do whatever it took to make it come true. She promised to ensure that his farewell would carry the dignity he had earned over a lifetime, not as a man defined by frailty, but as the icon he had always been: strong, free, and fearless until the very end. That commitment reflected not only Sharon's boundless love for Ozzy, but also a profound truth that sometimes the greatest act of devotion isn't just caring for someone's body, but honoring the legacy, pride, and spirit they spent their lives creating. In a deeply emotional revelation, Ozzy Osbourne's final wish was not to fade quietly from the spotlight, but to return to the place where it all began, Birmingham, for one last performance. It was a wish that reflected not only his enduring love for music, but also his longing to reconnect with his roots, to the city that had shaped him into the legend he became. Sharon, his devoted wife, revealed that in his final weeks, Ozzy's greatest desire was to stand on stage once more in his hometown. This wasn't merely about revisiting his career, it was his way of saying farewell to his friends, his fans, and all those who had stood by him through every triumph and trial of his extraordinary life. Surrounded by his bandmates and the fans who had stood by him through every chapter of his journey, Ozzy longed to feel their love and energy one final time. This wasn't just another concert, it was a celebration of everything he had given to music and to the rock community that adored him. Sharon knew that fulfilling this wish would not be easy, but she also understood that this was the only ending Ozzy would have wanted, an ending that was meaningful, complete, and true to the very core of who he was. On July 5th, 2025, Ozzy Osbourne's final wish became reality. Sharon brought together a historic concert titled Back to the Beginning at Villa Park, transforming the home of Aston Villa Football Club into hallowed ground for heavy metal. This wasn't just a tribute to Ozzy's legendary career, it was a deeply personal moment of closure and celebration. For the first time in 20 years, Ozzy reunited with his Black Sabbath bandmates Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward. It was more than a reunion. It was an emotional farewell, the final song from the men who had forever changed the sound of rock and left an immortal mark on music history. The event on July 5th at Villa Park, now remembered as Ozzy's final performance, sent waves of admiration through the entire music world. Over 40,000 fans packed the stadium, while millions more watched from around the globe via live stream. It was a concert unlike any other, a once-in-a-lifetime experience that left both fans and critics in awe. With every note, every lyric, and every moment shared on that stage, Ozzy and his bandmates reignited the spirit of a musical era that defined generations. That night, they didn't just perform, they sealed their legacy, etching their names forever into the story of rock and the hearts of those who witnessed history unfold. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Slayer, and Anthrax all took the stage as supporting acts, paying tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, the man who helped shape the very foundation of heavy metal. These weren't just fellow musicians, they were artists whose own journeys had been profoundly influenced by Ozzy's extraordinary legacy. Together, they created an atmosphere charged with emotion, where every riff, every lyric, and every roar from the crowd served as a tribute to his enduring impact on music and culture. The only place we could do this is Aston, because that's where Ozzy was born and raised, Sharon said. Her words weren't just a nod to geography, they were a powerful declaration of Ozzy's eternal connection to his roots, to the city that forged his spirit, and to the place that gave birth to one of the greatest legends in rock history. Sharon later revealed that from the very beginning of planning the concert, she had one clear vision to bring together every band Ozzy had ever collaborated with, turning the night into a grand celebration of both Black Sabbath's legacy and Ozzy's legendary solo career. It became a music festival, Sharon recalled, emphasizing how the event grew beyond anything she had imagined, not just for Ozzy, but for the entire metal community. This wasn't merely a concert. It was a living monument to music history, a powerful gathering where generations of artists came together to honor and celebrate the life, the music, and the everlasting legacy of one of rock's greatest icons. When Ozzy appeared seated on a black throne at the center of the stage, the roar from the crowd was absolutely thunderous. It was a moment etched in time, a man whose body had been weakened by illness, yet whose presence remained monumental. There he sat, like the undisputed king of rock, a living legend radiating the same unbreakable energy that had defined him for over 5 decades. The audience wasn't just looking at a performer, they were witnessing a myth made real, a symbol of resilience that transcended time. As the noise settled, Ozzy leaned into the microphone and with a trembling voice uttered the words, "Mum, I'm home." The crowd erupted once more, unaware that this would be the final time Ozzy Osbourne would return to the place where it all began. After that poignant introduction, Ozzy drew a deep breath, found his familiar fire, and launched into the opening lines of Crazy Train. In that moment, music became more than life itself. It was his heartbeat, his essence, his way of saying farewell. "You have no idea how I feel. Thank you from the bottom of my heart," he told the audience, his voice trembling with emotion and gratitude. The words were met with a thunderous roar from the 40,000 fans filling Villa Park, their applause echoing through the night. This was more than a concert, it was a festival of love, respect, and eternal admiration for a legend. And in that moment, Ozzy proved what his fans had always known. Though his body had grown fragile, his spirit, his music, and his legacy would live forever in the hearts of all who loved him. Black Sabbath's setlist that night was a powerful tribute to their legendary beginnings, the timeless songs that had come to define their legacy: War Pigs, Iron Man, and Paranoid. These weren't merely tracks, they were living pieces of rock history, the soundtrack of a generation. Though their performance was brief, it carried an undeniable sense of closure, each note a reflection of the band's 5-decade journey through triumph, chaos, and immortality. As fireworks ignited above Villa Park, painting the sky in bursts of light and color, the moment took on a near mystical quality. The band stood together one last time, taking their final bow as 40,000 voices rose in tribute. It wasn't just a concert, it was a farewell to an era, a celebration of memory, and a timeless testament to the love, devotion, and music that made Black Sabbath legends forever. Although the concert was organized as a charity event, raising an astounding $189 million, its true purpose went far beyond fundraising. For Ozzy, this night wasn't simply a celebration of his legendary career. It was a deeply personal moment of gratitude, a chance to give back to those who had stood beside him throughout his incredible journey. Surrounded by fans, friends, and fellow musicians, he used this moment not just to perform, but to say goodbye, to honor the life he had lived and the legacy he had built. Despite the overwhelming admiration from the crowd and the global music community, this night belonged to Ozzy alone, a final, heartfelt expression of love, thanks, and closure at the end of an extraordinary life in music. This was Ozzy's farewell, the final wish he had carried in his heart through his later years. He had long known that his time was drawing near, yet instead of yielding to fear or despair, that awareness only strengthened his resolve to fulfill one last dream: to leave this world on his own terms. Not quietly, not hidden away by illness or age, but in the way he had always lived: loud, fearless, and full of life, standing before his fans in one final performance. It was the wish he entrusted to Sharon, his steadfast partner through every victory and every storm. His last request was simple, yet profound: one final show. One last bow beneath the lights, on the stage where it had all begun, the place where music had shaped his destiny and defined his soul. Sharon brought Ozzy home, back to the place, the people, and the music that had shaped his entire life. In that profoundly emotional moment, she tearfully shared, "He wanted me to remind him of his true self." Those words captured not only her devotion, but the sacred promise she had kept to let him leave this world with the honor and dignity he had earned. Ozzy, who had spent his life giving music and emotion to millions, had finally come full circle, returning to his roots and the city where it had all begun. In every sense, it was the perfect farewell, the closing of a monumental chapter in rock history, and the final act of a legend whose spirit will echo forever. On the 22nd of July 2025, just 17 days after his final performance, Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the age of 76. His family announced the news in a heartfelt statement that shook the music world to its core. The loss was felt deeply not only by those closest to him, but by millions around the globe who had been moved, inspired, and forever changed by his music. A legend had left us, leaving behind a void that could never be filled. Yet Ozzy's legacy endures in the timeless songs he created, in the echoes of his unmistakable voice, and in the countless lives he touched along the way. His journey may have reached its end, but his spirit, his music, and his influence will live on forever. With immeasurable sadness, Ozzy Osbourne's family announced that their beloved husband and father had passed away that morning. "He has returned to his family, surrounded by an outpouring of love," the statement read. His passing left a void that can never be filled, yet he departed peacefully, embraced by those who loved him most. Tributes poured in from every corner of the globe, reflecting the deep respect and admiration people held for him. From devoted fans to fellow musicians, the world united in mourning and in gratitude, honoring the life and legacy of a true legend whose spirit will live on forever. Ronnie Wood of the Rolling Stones hailed Ozzy as the undefeated king of heavy metal, a fitting tribute for an artist who completely transformed the genre. Sir Elton John, a close friend, was visibly moved as he called Ozzy a true legend and a friend he would forever hold dear. These heartfelt words spoke volumes about the immense respect and admiration Ozzy commanded from some of the biggest names in music. He wasn't only a legend, he was a loyal, genuine friend cherished by those who knew him best. Tony Iommi, his Black Sabbath bandmate and lifelong brother in music, mourned the loss with deep sorrow, simply saying, "I can't believe it." "My dear friend Ozzy passed away just weeks after our show at Villa Park," Tony Iommi wrote. "This is heartbreaking, and I can't express it in words. No one will ever be like him. Geezer, Bill, and I have lost our brother." Ozzy's passing gave new meaning to the Villa Park concert, an event that had once been seen as a grand celebration of rock's greatest icons. In the wake of his death, that night became something far deeper, a farewell steeped in emotion, a final tribute from the friends and bandmates who had stood beside him through decades of music, chaos, and triumph. It was no longer just a concert, it was the last great chapter of a brotherhood that had defined the golden age of rock history. It wasn't just a fundraiser or a reunion, it was the final chapter of an extraordinary life. That concert became a legendary moment, where Ozzy Osbourne didn't only say goodbye to his fans, but also to the city and the legacy he had built over more than 50 years. His final wish had come true, a farewell that was deeply personal, profoundly emotional, and entirely on his own terms. Sharon, his lifelong partner who had stood beside him through every triumph and every storm, ensured that Ozzy's dream was fulfilled. Through her devotion, he was able to leave this world with the honor, dignity, and love he had always deserved. Ozzy Osbourne leaves behind his devoted wife, Sharon, and their children Kelly, Jack, and Amy, as well as Jessica and Louis from his first marriage. He also leaves behind several grandchildren who will carry his legacy forward. Though Ozzy has passed, his spirit lives on through his family and the monumental musical legacy he created. He devoted his life to music, pouring his heart and soul into every note, every lyric, every performance. Future generations will remember him not only as a trailblazer of rock and heavy metal, but as an irreplaceable legend whose sound, energy, and spirit changed the course of music forever. Ozzy's music, his influence, and his unforgettable farewell performance in Birmingham will forever be etched into the pages of music history. It was a defining moment, a triumphant final show where Ozzy said goodbye exactly the way only he could. Do you think this was the perfect way for the British rock icon to close the legendary chapter of his life? If Ozzy Osbourne's story has inspired or moved you, drop a 1 in the comments or a 0 if you see it differently. We'd love to hear your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more powerful stories about the artists who changed the world of music. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.